السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
الحمد لله الذي هدانا إلى دين الإسلام، وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله، وأكمل لنا ديننا وأتم علينا نعمه فرضي لنا الإسلام دينا، فلا نعبد إلا إياه ولا نستعين إلا به. نشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، ونشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا مولانا محمدا عبد الله ورسوله، بلغ الرسالة وأدى الأمانة ونصح الأمة، فجزاه الله عنا وعن كل المسلمين خيرا. اللهم فصل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي، وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا. أما بعد، رب يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير وبك نستعين يا فتاح. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. رب زدني علما والحقني بالصالحين. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. سبحانك لا فهم لنا إلا ما فهمتنا إنك أنت الجواد الكريم. My dear respected elders, brothers and sisters and fellow children in Islam, as 170 million Americans prepare to go trick-or-treating next week, and as the theme and vibe in our society surrounds Halloween, I think it's imperative that we take this time today to talk about where Islam teaches us to stand in such celebrations. Because there are two segments of the Muslim community when it comes to Halloween. The first is, this is all the devil. It's all from the devil. And a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, stay away from the devil. And the second side tends to be that we are in a country wherein we adopt the values of the country, hence it is only innocent fun, and there should be nothing wrong with partaking in such festivities. Brothers and sisters in Islam, the reason I picked this topic today is because the matter is such that it cannot be ignored. The fact that we continue to ignore things that happen around us creates a perception in the mind of our children that we're living in a different world within the same world. And we're living in the same world together. And Islam gives us tools to understand where we should stand at any given time, in any given place, at any given era. So to understand where a Muslim should stand when it comes to Halloween, there are 4 topics I feel it's imperative that we cover in order to draw a conclusion and an answer. The first is, since many feel this is about the devil, we should understand who the devil is and what his promise is. What is Islam's position when it comes to the traditions of others? Number 3, what is the history of this practice or celebration known as Halloween? And the 4th and final is what drives it in our world today. Number 1, the devil. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, being the creator of everything and everyone, has always emphasized on how we can come together, work together. This earth and its resources, how we can benefit from it and not abuse it. People of faith, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "Ta'alaw ila kalimatin sawa'in baynana wa baynakum," i.e. find common ground. So all in all, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala teaches us to find goodness, except with shaitan. Because the shaitan has openly declared on his own accord that he is our arch enemy. And he has made a plea to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah has accepted his plea to give him life to the end of time. And his goal is a simple goal, that I'm going to take every single one of these humans down. We're not picking a fight with him. He has already picked the fight with us. So it's imperative to understand what he wants to do with us. In chapter number 4, verse number 119, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us exactly what he wants. وَلَأُضِلَّنَّهُمْ, I will surely mislead them. Now even the definition of dalala in hidayah, which is going astray or finding the right path, needs to be elaborated upon because it has become a cultural statement. This is guidance and that is dalala. But we don't have time for that today. But what he's saying is, I will take them away from their purpose of existence. Keep this in mind. I will take them away from their purpose of existence. وَلَأُمَنِّيَنَّهُمْ, I will arouse desires in them to do things which have no benefit to themselves, which serves as no benefit to themselves or to others. فَلَيُبَتِّكُنَّ آذَانَ الْأَنْعَامِ, I will command them and they will slit the ears of cattle, i.e. they will do things which have no benefit. وَلَآمُرَنَّهُمْ فَلَيُغَيِّرُنَّ خَلْقَ اللَّهِ, and I will command them now. First, I'm going to lure them. I'm going to do the Hansel and Gretel story on them. I'm going to make them feel nice. And once they're comfortable with me, I'm going to tell them to change Allah's creation. How do I know I'm falling into the plot of the devil? Very simple. It's a process. It's a process. Shaitan will never come to you in your face and say, renounce Allah. He will never. Because he knows he will fail. But he will start a process that years from now, you will willingly say, there is no Allah. He has a process. But the end part, the hind part of this process is, فَلَا يُغَيِّرُنَّ خَلْقَ اللَّهِ, they will change Allah's creation. But in order for you to change Allah's creation, He needs to make you senseless, hopeless, fearless. He needs to kill your soul before you kill your body. We are living in a society today, according to the Pew Research Center. It's more of an outdated research. I couldn't find a relevant one. But In our world today, tattoos has become a multi-billion-dollar industry. I'm not happy with the way I look. I'm not happy with the way I stand, my posture, my figure. I'm not happy. He has to make you ungrateful for you to start making yourself feel better about yourself. And in a society where people are, and according to the percentages, anywhere between 14% to 22% of Americans today have a tattoo. This is only one aspect of it. When it comes to body piercing and altering one's body, that goes up to 20% of people feeling the need to change the way they look. The devil's dominance in society today is to make us ungrateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by altering and changing our bodies so that we may look better. Is he succeeding is my question. You can make that decision. But he didn't start yesterday. He started years ago. So number one, point is covered. If the devil has made a challenge to Allah against you and I, we need to be cognizant of the fact that the challenge is real and he's doing his work. How he does his work? Don't let it slap us on the face before we realize it. Go to the front end of it and nip it before it grows. I'll elaborate on it more. Number two, the second point. Where does Islam stand when it comes to practices of other people? Because if we keep on throwing out the haram card, Halloween haram, Valentine's haram, Thanksgiving haram, Christmas haram, New Year's haram, haram, haram. Manhattan ball dropping haram. These haram cards won't work. We have to understand Islam isn't like that. We find from the traditions of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we were just reminded of it in Muharram, that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam migrated from Mecca to Medina, and there he found the Jewish people fasting. He didn't say, "Lakum dinukum waliyadin." You do your religion thing, I'll do my religion thing. He inquired, "What is this?" They said, "We fast." Why do you fast? Because on this day in our religion, Musa alayhi salam was saved from the Pharaoh. Well, that's beautiful. We love Musa alayhi salam too, and we're closer to him than you are, because our tradition says to accept the word of Musa alayhi salam, and accept the word of Isa alayhi salam, and accept the word of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We're going to fast also. خياركم في الجاهلية خياركم في الإسلام إذا فقهوا. Whatever traditions or practices were practiced in the time of ignorance are accepted in Islam. Hear me clearly. They are accepted in Islam إذا فقهوا, so long they correspond with the values of a Muslim and do not contradict it. Now we know that it is based on correspondence or contradiction. It's imperative that we look at the root, not at the present face of it. Islam teaches us, go to the root of each practice. If the root is sane, the plant is sane, the flowers are good, the fruits are of benefit. But if the roots are evil, do not be deceived by the outer appearance of it. It's no good. The roots. That takes us into the third point. What is the history of Halloween? For Halloween today seems to be an eerie excitement and enjoyment, naive fun for children dressing up and walking around begging for candies. But this is rooted. It is rooted back in a practice which is over 2,000 years old, which came into this country around the 1800s, slowly but surely. It originates from an ancient Celtic festival known as Samhain. What happened was, on the night of October 31st, the Celts believed that this was the night where the lines between the living and the dead became blurred. They believed this. I want you to hear me out on this. They believed that at this night, between the fall and winter, between plenty and insecurity, between life and death, the souls of the dead will return. Now, how did they claim this? They said that the crops would be destroyed, the animals would be killed, and so there was a problem at hand. And they didn't know how to address it. So the Druids and the Celtic priests said that it's better that we just appease these forces and submit to them, surrender to them, rather than fighting them. So this became a celebration of souls, to please those souls. And we all know souls don't return. These were the shayateen, the jinn, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us very clearly they exist. They came to cause mischief. And so what they did to appease them and to submit to them, they created bonfires. They killed animals and wore their skin as costumes. And they got into fortune telling. A practice which is not only ancient, but a practice which was confronted by Islam also. And they felt that if they pleased these shayateen, the crops wouldn't die. The animals would stay safe, and we would have plenty of provisions for the following year. Now you can ask me, where is the devil in all of this? Number one, how the devil works. He brought about the legitimacy of powers to the heart of the people. That guess what? We are strong. Fear us. He brought that legitimacy slowly but surely. Number two, he brought it about by the feel that we need to acknowledge these imminent dark forces around us and prevent them from harming us by pleasing them. His goal was to create a line of communication through fortune tellers and sorcerers. Remember one thing, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given the jinn power. They could go anywhere. But there are 2 times which I can recall, which is documented, that those abilities were restricted. One of them was the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That when the Quran started its revelation, the doors to the heaven were closed. The doors to the skies were closed. And the jinns gathered and said, there's something happening. There's something wrong while these doors are closed. Why are these doors important? Because they had the ability to go up and listen to the whispers of what's being talked about and come down and tell humankind and sorcerers, this is what's going to happen. Believe in the future through me. But those doors were closed. And so what happened was, they sent out groups to the whole world to find out what's happening on this earth that has caused those doors to close. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about it in the Holy Quran. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. وَإِذْ صَرَفْنَا إِلَيْكَ نَفَرًا مِنَ الْجِنِّ يَسْتَمِعُونَ الْقُرْآنَ. They were traveling. They found Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam standing in prayer. They stopped. They said, be quiet. Let's listen to this. When he finished, they spoke to him. He gave them Islam. They accepted Islam and they took it back. This is the word that has stopped us from going up. In order to legitimize this process of listening to fortune tellers, the jinns pile up on top of each other. One of them hears a slight thing and they try to pass it down. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends shihabun thaqib, which is known as shooting stars, to obliterate them and to kill them. But this trend continues till this day. To take your faith away from your creator and master to the creation is shaitan's key towards his success. And he will do it by desensitizing our feelings by these gruesome images and depictions of darkness. But again, my brothers and sisters, it starts up as innocent, naive fun. It starts with Mickey Mouse. It starts with Disney World. When you wish upon a star, wish upon a star. The star will give you something. And it turns towards Harry Potter. And then it goes into darker modes. Shaitan is smart. He knows how to bring about change in this human being. Bring it in an innocent fashion and then pull them in when they have no control. The shayateen continued this trend that people after Sulaiman alayhi salam said that Sulaiman alayhi salam had powers because he worked with the devils. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Holy Quran in chapter 2 verse number 1 and 2 very clearly states that وَمَا كَفَرَ سُلَيْمَانَ. Sulaiman alayhi salam did not do kufr by following and believing in the words of the jinn and the shayateen. وَلَكِنَّ الشَّيَاطِينَ كَفَرُوا يُعَلِّمُونَ النَّاسَ السِّحْرَ. The shayateen did kufr. They rejected Allah's power by teaching people magic. In regards to this verse, Ibn Jurayj rahimahullah narrates that on the authority of Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala, Al-Urfi narrates on the authority of Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala regarding this verse, that the shayateen disbelieved by teaching men magic, and they came down at Babylon to the two angels. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, no one dares practices magic except a disbeliever. As for the fitna, it involves trial of freedom of choice. He also mentioned the hadith of Abu Bakr al-Bazzar, recorded from Abdullah radiallahu ta'ala, in which he states, whoever came to a soothsayer or a sorcerer has believed in what it said, has disbelieved in what Allah has revealed to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He needs to take that belief away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is why the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was so stern. If you go to the horoscope or to a soothsayer or to a fortune teller and you believe in something that they say, فَقَدْ عَصَى اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ. You have disbelieved in Allah and His Rasul. You have lost it. Shaitan wants you to lose it because he wants you to believe that the unseen power does not belong to Allah alone. Remember one thing, my brothers and sisters. Shaitan in fear will make people surrender to him. While Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with hope and goodness will anticipate that humanity will submit to him. Allah will not force us to him, but Shaitan will force us to himself. These practices have been throughout the course of our history. Let me tell you a very quick story. Amr ibn al-As radiallahu anhu was appointed by Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu as the governor of Egypt. When he got to Egypt, there was a big problem. The problem was every year, the Nile River would dry up. And it would not run until or unless a practice was performed. That practice was to take a virgin girl from her parents, buy her out, adorn her with jewelry and clothing, put her in a cage, and leave her in the dry bed of the Nile. Overnight, that girl would disappear, and then the water would rise for the 1 year. When Amr ibn al-As radiallahu anhu was told about this, he said, no, this is wrong. We can't do this. We cannot do this. Ibn Kathir rahimahullah has recorded this whole story. Anyways, they didn't do it that year. And for a month, there was no water. So he sent a letter to Umar radiallahu anhu. Oh Umar, we have a problem. The Nile does not run unless this practice is performed. And we didn't do it because we know it's not right. But guess what? The water is not coming. So Umar radiallahu anhu sent a letter. He sent a letter to who? To the Nile River. He said, Min Umar ibn Khattab, Amir al-Mu'mineen ila Nil. This letter is from Umar bin Khattab, Amir al-Mu'mineen, the Khalifa of the people, to the Nile. If you want to run with Allah's permission, then run. But if you want to run with anyone else's permission, we don't need you. It is said from the time that letter was dropped in, the Nile River continues to run today, till this day. Islam gave us tools to fight the devil who has said he wants to fight you. Do not appease the devil. Do not fall to his tricks, because all it's going to do is harm us and no one else. The fourth and final point is, if Halloween is so bad and has so many bad roots, why is it dominating in our society? Well, brothers and sisters, it's very simple. It's called money. Halloween, according to the Pew Research Fund and also Statista.com, is going to bring in $9 billion to our economy this year, which is lower than last year, which was $9.1 billion. So in conclusion, let us be smart. let us be vigilant. And let us understand practices and their roots before we adopt them. And pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that our hearts only are connected to Him and remain connected to Him. And we die in a state that our hearts are clinged on to Him. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم تسليما كثيرا. My brothers and sisters in Islam, today as we open the door on Halloween, we understood who the devil is and what he wants to do. And as he continues to succeed in making us ungrateful servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the only way to fight back is acknowledge the blessings that Allah has bestowed upon all of us. We may not be perfect when we measure ourselves to those who are presented in the world as images of perfection from the magazines and the TVs and the billboards, but you are perfect in the way Allah has made you because Allah is your artist. And the art of Allah is always perfect. Number two, we find that Islam is always open to other practices so long those practices are of benefit to us and they are rooted in something solid. We looked into the history of the practice of Halloween and we understood that why it continues to flourish in our world is because of money. But the end point here today is that as we understand Shaitan, understand that his plot is as follows. It looks very good in the beginning, but then he traps you at the end. The plan of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in comparison to that is very difficult in the beginning, but you will find freedom at the end. Islam was given to us to free us from the shackles of slavery to the creation and put us in service to the Creator. We are a ummah that has been given tools to bring solutions to the world. We are not those who say, if you can't beat them, join in. Rather, we are the ones who say, if there is a challenge, we will prove that there's something better than it. Does Islam prevent us from having fun? Not at all. We should have fun, but fun should not be restricted to a specific time. We should have fun as a community, as a family, when time allows for it to happen. So, in conclusion, the last point is, what do I do then on Halloween? When everyone is out and about enjoying, what do I do? Your child will come and ask you, what do we do? If we can't do this, what do I do? Let me tell you something good to do. In our country, people are suffering. Scarcity of food, not knowing where the next meal is. Go with your family on this night, take some food, go to a food bank, go to a food pantry, go to a shelter, go to people in need and give them food. Teach our children that our Islam teaches us to give, not to get. It teaches us to beg from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and not from the creation. It starts innocent, but its ultimate destination is doom. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Man sanna sunnatan hasana, falahu ajruha wa ajru man amila biha." Start a new trend. Start a trend of goodness. You will be rewarded for it, and everyone that follows you will be rewarded for it also. As Muslims, we are told to work towards a better world. And that better world will happen when we do three things. We participate, we engage, and we pray. We participate, we engage, and we pray. With the elections now that have begun, we have from the 22nd of October, which has passed, to the 2nd of November to vote. Brothers and sisters, participate. Go and vote. Your vote is part of the process of participation in this nation, and no one should have an excuse not to vote. Do not wait till November 6th because it will be too late. You need to go vote. You need to go vote after Jumu'ah, inshallah. Number two, be part of the society to bring about goodness. no one will bring it, especially when Allah has given you the tools to bring it. And last but not least, pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that whatever we do on this earth is for Him alone and no one else. We associate nothing with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we believe that we have no power, but Allah has the ultimate power. We send salutations and blessings upon Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who guided us, mentored us, showed us the correct way, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Quran, Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima, Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik ala sayyidina Muhammad, abdika wa rasulika al-nabi al-ummi, wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa baraka wa sallama tasliman kathiran kathira. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. رب اغفر وارحم وتجاوز عما تعلم إنك أنت العز الأكرم. اللهم إنا نسألك العفو والعافية والمعافاة الدائمة في الدين والدنيا والآخرة. نسألك اللهم من الخير كله عاجله وآجله، ونعوذ بك اللهم من الشر كله عاجله وآجله. اللهم اشف مرضانا وعاف مبتلانا وارحم موتانا يا رب العالمين. آمين يا رب العالمين، آمين يا رب العالمين، آمين يا رب العالمين. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. فاذكروا الله يذكركم وادعوه يستجب لكم ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون. Please ensure that our lines are straight, stand shoulder to shoulder. The edge of our heel should be on the edge of the line. Please ensure the gaps in front of us are filled before we form a second line.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله، أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله، أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله، أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة، حي على الصلاة، حي على الفلاح، حي على الفلاح. قد قامت الصلاة، قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر، الله أكبر، لا إله إلا الله.
حق لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. اللهم انت السلام عليك السلام تبارك يا ذا الجلال والإكرام. استغفر الله العظيم.